We've returned. We need to get some character creation music going. I'm gonna play a track called "The Stranger." There's a stranger in town. All right. Now, in the last part, if any of you are freshly joining, we went through the 2014 character creator that I had been using for teaching character creation, talking about compelling characters and such. We applied as much of that methodology as we could to the 2024 book. There are things that are just not in the 2024 book. And yeah, and looking at this, I guess we could try using this for prompts. I just wish that it wasn't. I wish it wasn't tied to ability scores. Because ability scores are... They're certainly indicators of parts of a person. But being oblivious or rash is something that I don't know, I guess the expectation is you're always going to have the high score in the one that you need for your class. You're never going to make a charisma dump stat warlock or an intelligence dump stat wizard or something. Which maybe not a lot of people did. A lot of decisions for the streamlining probably came from data extracted from how people play on D&D Beyond. And maybe convention feedback, I don't know. But even so, convention play and D&D Beyond play, and it's weird because it seems like it might create a feedback loop. Does that make sense? If all you're getting is a portion of data from software meant to streamline, and then all your data comes back that people prefer streamlined characters, and so you make a streamlined game, what's the next revolution gonna be, right? Like what's the next feedback loop gonna be? So I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out. It's not bad, and 14 and 24 are compatible. I mean, we can make a druid in 2014. They're gonna cast this pretty much the same spells. The spells, I don't believe, have had much, if any, like actual power creep. Like D6s become D8s and suddenly you throw 10 of them instead of 6. There is a lot more spectacle creep and variability, which is a soft power creep. But I would still say that the characters are compatible. Yeah, as an option, Alcahest, I think that was the right way forward. For all of the other things that, all the other piles that WotC might have stepped in with OGL stuff, or, them telling you that they can strip mine your third-party stuff and all the other stuff that they've said and that they've done or are doing. This was a right call in terms of presenting this as simply a set of options that you may choose to play. You don't have to, A lot of people still have 2014 stuff, and what's made for here, if anything, and I haven't really seen the like not powerful monsters that aren't like a camel or a cat. You know, maybe the monsters are scaled up a bit to offer a more mechanically balanced. It's such a weird word to use. But if so, 2014 characters can still take those down because by comparison, the monster manual is weak even compared to 2014 characters. So anyway, so this is what we have. We're going to make a level 12 character. Don't know much about this character's personality. We have an alignment. We are lawful evil. We're a circle of the land druid. Now, where I do like to start, and I will start my way. I will start my way with character building, is with the background of the character. And what was rolled was an artisan. So, with this, we get to choose 2 in one in the other, or we can put 1 in each. I don't know about our character, so I guess we'll go with... Pardon. What might be the best case for us? So, Druid is wisdom based. It makes me feel... It's weird. It's obvious, but it makes me feel gross needing to put that forward. So let's think outside of that. We have someone who's a crafter, someone who is selfish, works within a set of rules. This may very well be the case of the strong, maybe the strong, like survival of the fittest. That is a very lawful evil concept. And so we might have someone, maybe he transforms into powerful beasts. That accentuate or hope to match his strength. We have maybe more of like a Gaston style, a very self-absorbed character. So with that, even though we can take on these animal forms, let's go strength and dex. We're going to put a 1 here. And we're going to put a 2 here. And we're not going to worry about intelligence. Skill proficiencies are going to be investigation and persuasion. Tool proficiency, choose one kind of artisan's tools. All right. Let's see how many of these we have and we can roll for it, okay? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, and the other kits are different. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. Yeah, so we have 17. Alkahest, roll 2d20. And the first number that is not an 18 or higher is what we have. Yes, Alkahest, I agree with you, 100%. 19 won't count, so 13 it is. So 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, Potter's Tools. All right, so... We are a Harry Potter. Very good. We are a Harry Potter. Although Potter's Tools is intelligence. So I guess... we have more of a Scar-like druid instead of more of a himbo druid. I guess let's put our... We're not... maybe we don't have a lot of strength. Maybe we're more lithe than intelligent. I guess we'll do that. Well, Zulurpai, you know what we say here. It writes itself. Tools. Potter's Tools. Okay, we've made our note there. And our note reference. Equipment, choose A or B. Artisan tools, pouches. Let's go with option A. The A-B thing is weird because it only exists because the fighter has C, it seems. I don't think I've seen another C option here. So our inventory is Potter's Tools. Belt pouch ×2. Traveler's clothies. And 32 gapa. Now, we also get the crafter feat. You gain the following benefits. You gain proficiency with 3 different artisan tools of your choice from the fast crafting table. So I guess we will do more than just potting. Discount whenever you buy a non-magical item, you receive a 20% discount on it. So this kind of replaces the background feature, but it doesn't feel as flavorful. It doesn't feel as flavorful. So this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Gisp, will you please type exclamation point 2D8? One and 5. So we're going to get carpenter's tools, 2, 3, and smith's tools. All right. And then we need a D6. Brufros, can I get 1 D6 from you, please? And I think we need to re-roll the 6 if we get it. You need an exclamation point. Lands on a 6. I think that's the re-roll, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. All right, 2D6. Give me a 2D6, Brufros. Six and 7. All right, it's your choice. You broke reality by rolling a 7 on a D6. You can choose one of these fast crafting tool sets. You're just that good, Brufros. You broke reality. So far, we are proficient with carpenter's tools, potter's tools, and smith's tools. You can choose woodcarver, weaver, tinker, or mason or leather worker. Weaver's tools? All right. We get the discount. Whenever you buy a non-magical item, you receive a 20% discount on it. And we also get fast crafting. When you finish a long rest, you can craft 1 piece of gear from the fast crafting table, provided you have the artisan's tools associated with that item and have proficiency with those tools. The item lasts until you finish another long rest, at which point the item falls apart. And we're just going to put fast crafting on page 200. Thank you, Obsidian. Hello. Yeah, you can make an item that'll last for a day and then it'll fall apart. Yeah, thank you for doing so, Obsidian. I hope things have been well for you. And being lawful evil, of course, Alcahest is, the warranty clearly said, as is. So he's selling merch out of his wagon that he can pull himself as a beast, to save a little bit of money, and also to be, nondescript. And he sells his stuff at a discount, but everything is sold as is. He gets out of town, and then the item falls apart the next day. But he never holds the same shape, so no one actually knows what he looks like. we have a flim flam man, a bamboozler, as our druid. A grifter. Who might even do grafting because, for all we know, he has an orchard of seedless oranges, and so he has to graft the branches to get them to propagate. All right. Well, that was our background. Now let's go over to being a Dragonborn. Oh wait, were we a Dragonborn? No. What was 3? What was option 3? That wasn't Dragonborn. One, 2, a dwarf. We are a male dwarf. Dwarf. All right, so just generic stuff here. Everyone is 30 feet. I don't know if I liked this, but this was the trend that even the 2014 books were going, that everyone is 30. I think it's okay to move 25 feet if you don't have as long legs as others. We do get dark vision to 120 feet. Dwarven resilience. So there's nothing here on this sheet for it. Over on our other, on our normal workshop character sheet, there's a little section here for immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities, which I really like. Resistance to poison damage. You also have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end the poisoned condition. So I guess let's just write down Dwarven resilience. We also get Dwarven toughness. So that's extra hit points. So automatically we're going to have 12. Stone cutting is a bonus action. You gain tremor sense with a range of 60 feet for 10 minutes. You must be on a stone surface or touching a stone surface to use this tremor sense. The stone can be natural or worked. You use this bonus action number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Alright, so we have stone cunning, 2 per long rest. And that's it. A dwarf is a dwarf is a dwarf in this version. There's no difference between mountain and hill. All right. Let's go over to Druid. Saving throw proficiencies are going to be Int and Wiz. Then we get to choose 2. Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, and see, it's times like this where having a personality first makes this selection easier, and it doesn't just come down to, oh, well, everyone can use perception, so I guess I'm just going to take that. So I'm consciously trying to fight that. You know, given the jokes, the goofs, the gaffes that we've made about the characters so far, what would a character like this take? We'll have to fill in blanks with our own imaginations to make sure that we're making a compelling character. And there are exceptions if everyone knows they're playing to this, but remember, a character can make a good joke. A joke doesn't make a good character. All right, Bane. Whichever adventure Sierra Echo goes on next. If Sierra, I mean, you might be prompted to, but Sierra, if you go in with just a straight up roll, no advantage or disadvantage, Bane will give you double the experience points for pulling the Comet card from the deck of many things. So, Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, Medicine, Nature, Perception, Religion, or Survival. Well, let's see. If we are a smith and a woodworker and all this, it would probably behoove us to have Nature so that we can measure the quality of our raw materials. And Nature and maybe Animal Handling. Maybe he does have he does keep a beast of burden for his cart. Oh no! Sierra Echo is defeated. Wait, is Sierra? Is that you? Or are you a Mogus? So, what else would be another skill for someone in these trades? You know what? Insight could work if he is going for kind of that flim flam man, like the bad stereotype used car salesman sort of a thing. You know, he's observing how people in the city treat each other, and so he's treating them as they treat each other. He's moving among them. Insight might work. Let's go nature and insight. Because we also have investigation and persuasion. We have simple weapon proficiencies. Light armor and shields. We do get a tool proficiency with an herbalism kit. So we can also make healing potions. And then choose A or B. Let's take the A option. I'm not worried about going shopping right now. We can look at the economics of the 2024 handbook on another night. Leather armor, shield, sickle. So we do have a shield. Leather armor, shield, sickle. A shield sickle. Druidic focus, quarterstaff. Explorer's pack. Herbalism kit. And 9 gapuz. So we are up to 41 gapuz. Plants in Leather Pants. I like the name. Thank you for stopping by for that first time chat. We're having fun. We're building our first 2024 Player's Handbook character. Chat's helping me out, and we randomly rolled into a Circle of the Land Druid. But since this released a couple weeks ago, I've been going over the book on the channel, going over the differences between the 2024 version and the 2014 version of 5th edition. And tonight we're making our very first character with this new old system. Alright, so let's go over here. This character we're making level 12 just so we get a feeling for things. Weapons and damage cantrips. So we can put any damage cantrips up there, but I suppose we should put... by 12th level, we know 4 cantrips. And then for spell slots, four 3/3/3. Two 1. Now we can contrast that to the sheet that we used for spells. When did you start playing Plants? What has been your interaction, and not even just with D&D, it could be with tabletop games in general. I mean, maybe specifically role-playing, but have you always, like, you've played board games since, since you were knee-high to a grasshopper? Or is this more of a, I'm sort of coming into my own, at this point in life, I'm looking for the creativity and the challenge, so it's something you've really gotten into in the past couple years? What's been your experience? And then we can prepare at level 12 16 spells. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm putting X's here because druids here can swap out all of their spells after a long rest. So we have these fixed cantrips. Or I guess we can put these as level 0 spells. And then these can be of any level that we can cast. So we can go and talk about a sample spell list for this character for sure, but right now as we're filling out the character sheet, I'm not worried about this just yet. We're leaving space for it. All right, so we will know Druidic. And we do get a primal order. Ah, now here's a good question then. And we can randomly roll it. Though, let's at least talk about personality. From the concept that we're forming about this character, do we have someone who'd be more of a magician and take one more cantrip? Or do we have someone who would be more trained for battle and be proficient with martial weapons and get medium armor training? Now, we are a smith, and I can still see that maybe we want to show off some of that, some of that prowess. I can see this either way, but from, I don't know, what's the feeling you all would get? Would we have someone who's more focused on having more cantrips, sort of more tools in the belt, so to speak? Or would we have someone who would get this extra proficiency? Yes, there's no mention of metal restrictions. The 2014 had a cursory one in there. Yeah. A smith would be wearing a heavy leather apron. That would be light armor. Yeah, that would be light armor. That's why I think I can easily see the cantrip. Having an extra cantrip is having an extra tool in his belt. Plants, I would if this was the 2014 version. The 2014 Player's Handbook and our exercises with it, I would easily be able to do that. Because the backgrounds have ideals, bonds, flaws, 2 personality traits, and we build the character off of who the character is. The 2024 version is very streamlined and stripped down. So we're just having to kind of make it up along the way as we're going into character creation with ROLL playing. This is a dwarven character. Economic status, probably doing well for himself considering that he's an artisan. No. I asked for it, Plant. I'll make sure to read it out loud above here. But yeah, I would have those answers for you a lot easier in the other character creation method. So we can make it up along the way if you feel inspired. I've played for about 5 years, DM for 3, played 1 campaign till 20, got into the game because I loved RPGs like Fallout and Skyrim. Been writing stories and comics since I was in kindergarten. D&D was a perfect merger. Typically, as a player character, I like to make something unique and interesting and limit myself to a 1-paragraph backstory. If it ain't interesting in 5 sentences, then it's not going to be memorable. Brevity is the soul of wit. And yeah, Plants, being a DM, you get that 20-page backstory, and you're like, oh yeah, my wizard graduated top of the academy, had to slay a dragon to graduate. His parents tried to kill him, and so he ran away with his love, and they lived in a barbarian tribe in the mountains, and then all of a sudden you look at the character and you have a level 1 character with 4 hit points, and you go, but did you? Did you? We need to talk about getting your character involved in the world. Maybe those are aspirations for your character, daydreams, things that he or she wants to do one day. But I don't think you ran away from your murderous parents, graduated top of your class at wizard school, and slayed a dragon to impress your girlfriend, and you're a level 1 wizard. Yeah, flaw. There you go. Flaw lies about everything. Also, let's report this bot real quick, everyone. Let's take a moment out of our broadcast, and we will be the heroes that Twitch needs. We're going to report spam, scams, or bots soliciting chat to buy viewers with this message. Control V. There we go. And let's get that account. Let's get that account banned for violating the terms of service. Couple paragraphs about what your motivations, fear, who your connections are way more interesting than I killed Lord Soth. Alcahest, yes, 100%. Absolutely. And Plants, I'm very glad to meet a very creative person who has been storytelling and has been doing this even before you started doing it, at least mechanically through a rule book. Using the force of nature to make fires hotter, steel stronger, and superior products. This could have made them enemies. Enemies to whom then, Plants? I'm happy for this world building. I am not... And maybe that's the downfall of the streamlined system. I'm not already attached to the character and trying to think about him or her. Well, in this case, him. I'm not trying to think about him because all we have are mechanics. When I greatly appreciate the roleplay prompts of the 2014 book. This character is a potter who might make a little pottery house gods that might turn evil and bring bad luck, sold as good luck charms. Using tremor sense and find the finest veins of ore to create a masterwork carapace for himself. Alright. Pottery plus smithing reminds me of that Japanese sword thing where they cover a portion of the sword in clay so it doesn't heat up as much before quenching to create a gradient in the crystallization. So you have a softer bit on one side and a harder on the other. Alright then, so I guess we'll go Warden. And we will take medium and Marshall. Then we're going to get Wild Shape. And we're gonna put a page reference, page 81. I don't want to type all that's here. But we will get twice per long rest. Page 81, 2 per... Actually, let's indent this. 2 per long rest. 8 forms known. Max CR1 can fly. And temp HP of 12, as that matches our druid level. We get Wild Companion at level 2. And that's going to give us the Find Familiar spell. So we can put that especially down here. Alright, well, to not keep it from scrolling, let's do this. Ooh, oh, there's a cat here somewhere. You all heard it, right? We'll just put WC for Wild Companion, and so this is going to give us Find Familiar. When you cast a spell in this way, the familiar is Fey and disappears when you finish a long rest. Okay, then. So we'll put an asterisk to reference up here special rules, and that these are also on page 81. We will get our Druid subclass, and that is going to be Circle of the Land. We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get ASIs at 4, 8, and 12. You gain the ability score improvement feat or another feat of your choice. So I guess we can randomly roll that as a part of the character creation. So we can go back and determine if he does take extra feats. Plants in leather pants, would you type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? Hi, M. Walsh. Good to see you. We're going to get Wild Resurgence. That lets us restore Wild Shape or spell slots. We're going to get Elemental Fury, Potent Spellcasting, or Primal Strike. Add your Wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any Druid cantrip, or once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with an attack roll using a weapon or beast form attack in Wild Shape, you can cause the target to take an extra 1d8 cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. As we had the Warden Primal Order, I don't know. Do you think he'd take the Primal Strike, which is hitting with weapons or claws or bites? Or would he go for the, we just add Wisdom modifier to any cantrip that we have? Don't apologize for the novel, Plants. You're fine, I promise. I super duper duper promise. This channel's an extension of a friendly local game store. I am happy for people to share their wit, their wisdom, their advice, their stories, ask questions, help answer questions for others. That's what a place like this exists to do and facilitate. Stops on a 37. So we are going to take all, on the chart, you don't see it up here. I'll show it off in a moment. We're going to take all stat bumps. Tomorrow is an office day full of meetings, so I have to take off, shower, shave, laundry, sleep. Best of luck. Alcahest, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here as always. Hopefully you'll be able to come back. Plants was saying perhaps they've been making other local smiths look bad. Maybe he's compelled by the natural pull of energies. Maybe the exceptional quality of his work is because he's tapped into the natural web of the world, and nature is using him as a conduit to establish the equilibrium nature pulls towards. Maybe there is a guilt that is deliberately controlling the market and intentionally selling products that will break so he can sell more. Well, given alignment is a guide for personality, and we do have a lawful evil character. So we have someone who does tend to be selfish, but does operate within a set of rules within a particular order. So we can have a flim-flam man, or someone who doesn't mind going in and undermining or somehow destroying the market with even superior products, but so the products are good, but maybe he goes in and sells them super cheap. And that's how it undermines a market in a particular way. Whether or not that's for the benefit of anyone else, we have someone who's taking care of his own needs, wants, and desires first before others. But he's also not just selling, death trap carpentry work, as that might undercut the personal code of conduct or some sort of professional ethical duty. Yeah, Gisp, I'm in Ohio. He makes and sells substandard equipment, but he's still a dwarf, so it'll only last for 4 generations. Or have scoundrels do protection taxes or on competing merchants. Yep. Or summon birds to steal everyone's forks, and it just so happens he comes into town and he has a bunch of forks for sale. Because, oh man, magpie season is terrible, isn't it? Or, it's a real shame that out of nowhere, this clouder of cats keeps jumping on people's windowsills and knocking flower pots over. And wouldn't you know, he's got a whole wagon full of flower pots that he can sell people after these nasty animals have come in to knock stuff over and to steal things. Isn't that terrible, everyone? Maybe he's using the forces of nature to weaken or rust metals. Oh, yeah, that could be it, too. Yeah, now, evil in this case, though, Plants and Leather Pants, evil doesn't have to mean that I kick puppies and burn down orphanages. Yeah, Druid with a pet rust monster. So would we have Potent Spellcasting or Primal Strike? Probably Primal Strike, because as we're hitting things with our hammer in crafting, maybe we can cause that extra little bit of fire damage to really heat things up. Or maybe almost have kind of a welding operation with lightning damage. So I like going for Primal Strike. I think that's going to make sense. And then we're not going to get anything from Druid until 15. So I'm not worried about that. Not worried about the Druid spells right now. And then we come over to the Circle of the Land. We are going to get, whenever you finish a long rest, choose one type of land. Consult the table below that corresponds to the chosen type. You have the spells listed for your Druid level and lower prepared. I don't like this. Personal opinion, you all are 100% allowed to disagree with me. I don't like this because I think this is part of the soft power creep. Is it bad, and does this break the game? No, it does not. I'm looking you right in the eye. I'm unblinking. This doesn't break the game. I just feel like a little bit of role play, a little bit of, being a part of a world, being born from an area, learning it, and even if you're going out into an area that's not that anymore, I definitely get the argument, oh, well, it's, I'm just adapting to the land. And I do understand that. Because the Circle of the Land seems to be much more of that adaptability. I don't know. I hate feeling like I'm stodgy about things, and I don't say this for the sake of, well, back in my day, Druids were like this. I don't do edition war stuff. I only started playing in 3rd edition. I don't even have that long of a memory of playing older editions, because my oldest edition is 3rd. So it's nothing for the sake of antiquity or, you know, nostalgia or emotional stuff like that. I'm actually approaching this from a logical point. Hi, Coffee Cat. Wait, are you on break for Vampire right now, or did you finish early? And also, Bane, can I get a shout out to Coffee Cat Presents, who, speaking of 5th edition, not only runs a 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade game, which is happening right now on the channel that Bane will promote in just a moment, but also a D&D 5th edition game on Saturdays. Alright, so we can at least come over here and... I guess we can list this as Circle 2, Circle 3, Circle 4, and Circle 5, because those are going to be the placeholders for any of these spells that we have. And these are modular. I don't know where the character is now, so I can't really fill that in. We could randomly roll, I suppose. But let's at least account for that. So we have our Circle level 2 spell, our Circle level 3 spell, our Circle level 4 spell, and our Circle level 5 spell. Land's Aid. As a magic action, you can expend a use of your wild shape and choose a point within 60 feet of yourself. Vitality giving flowers and life-draining thorns appear for a moment in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point. Each creature of your choice in the sphere must make a con saving throw against your spell save DC, taking 2d6 necrotic on a failed save or half as much on a successful. One creature of your choice in that area regains 2d6. So we are going to get Land's Aid. So let's do this. Land's Aid on page 85. Natural Recovery. You can cast one of the level 1+ spells that you have prepared from your Circle Spells feature without expending a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you do so again. When you finish a short rest, you can choose an expended spell slot to recover. The spell slots can have a combined level that is equal to or less than half your Druid level, and none of them can be level 6+. Alright, so we're going to have Natural Recovery, colon, 6 levels, because that's half of our 12. And this is on page 85 also. And then at level 10, Nature's Ward, you are immune to the poison condition. Well, as a dwarf, we go from resistant to immune. And you have resistance to a damage type associated with your current land choice in the Circle Spells feature as shown in the Nature's Ward table. Alright, so this is Nature's Ward. We are immune to poison damage. And we can list current resistance colon question mark, because I don't know the land that we're in, but that's the variable. Thank you for the shout out to Coffee Cat. I hope things are going well down in Texas for your vampires. Coffee Cat, is your Chronicle wrapping up soon? Are you towards the end of Dead Man's Hand? Plants and Leather Pants says using his influence of nature to break things conveniently right before he shows up is a fantastic grift. Fun fact, Crassus, the richest man in Caesarian Rome, got his money by owning the fire department. He'd show up and offer to save your house for a massive fee or buy it for bottom dollar when the fire's getting close, then have his firefighters extinguish the fire. Yep, this dwarf can't get drunk then, Bane. I'm sorry. In a few sessions, and then you're switching to Cyberpunk Red? Heck yeah. Do you have a story planned up, or are you going to run some Tales of the Red? Or I think you're going to tie this at least loosely in as a prequel to 2077 or something like that. Multi-classing is out of the question because we didn't roll that this was a multi-class character. Multi-classing exists in this version of 5th edition. We didn't get that as an option for the character because we were randomly rolling traits in chat. Multi-classing was an option, but we didn't get it. I'm going to run something like the party is set of mechs or mercs meant to do a job. The job either goes well or fails horribly, and we get the fallout from that. We are not yet at our subclass capstone at level 14 for Nature's Sanctuary. All right, so this is what we have for our placeholder. Now that we filled in these things, and I don't know if we have magic items, so I'm not worried about that. Magic items are not necessarily a part of the character. We have our standard array of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. I'm kind of thinking we take the 2, 1, and we go 1, 1, 1 with the stat distribution instead. And as we're looking at this and the considerations for the personality, this is why I like the old personality traits and such. They helped us with everything else. And maybe the way that I taught it was rare, and I was the only one who ever used this stuff, but man, I loved it for what it was. I think we go 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and we actually give him a low constitution score. His body may have adapted over time. The magic has supplemented this. He has an herbalism kit proficiency to make healing potions. He has magic to bolster him because he doesn't naturally have this profound hit point pool. You know, a lot of his own inner strength. Maybe that's what's led him into this life, or it's something that could be a character flaw. I really enjoy characters that have Constitution as the dump stat. I think that'll work for this character. Now, as we add these scores, that's going to give us a 13, 11, 16, and the others are as they are. They do. But nothing says that wisdom has to be the highest score. And now we get the stat bumps from what you rolled. We have made awesome, we have made warlocks with charisma as the dump stat. And the character is functional, has a great personality, so you can roleplay this character, and this character still has a high functionality, and isn't like, oh, you're being a drag on the party or something. And that's what this edition seems to be built for, is the expectation that all druids are going to have a high wisdom. Most druids do. I would urge you all not to always build an optimal character. It's okay to not have wisdom as your highest stat as a druid. You can still do a lot of awesome things. Now, do we want to max it out? We can get 3 bumps at 4, 8, and 12. We can bump up our stats. Though I think we're going to do a little bit of rounding up. So what I mean by that, let's bring our charisma to 14. And oh, actually, hang on. I have to make sure that this is how this feat works in the 2024 version. Hold on a moment. Yeah, 2x1 or 1x2. Okay. It does work the same. Just checking. So let's round up charisma and strength. Let's round up dex and strength. And then we can put our last 2 into wisdom to make it equal to our intelligence. By doing that, we are more well-rounded in our dwarven form. We are functioning as a salesman and as a crafter in that form, let alone anything being in an animal form gives us. And an animal form will, of course, increase our physical stats. But it's important if we keep our mental stats higher, because we retain those in our animal form. And having a +3 is fine at level 12. It's fine. Now, why do we have this 1 spare in strength? That's because strengths, unless it's changed, and I'd have to double check in the 2024, the only ability that has any sort of mechanics built on the score is strength. And so if you're left with a dangling 1 and you throw that in strength, you might be able to carry a little bit more stuff. You might be able to jump that extra 1 or 2 inches. Again, I'll have to go and double check in here, but at least in the 2014 version, your strength score, not your modifier, but your strength score, was important. So this is going to give us a +1. This is giving us a +2. We have a -1 constitution. We have a +3 intelligence, a +3 wisdom, and a +2 charisma. At this level, our proficiency bonus is, probably 3 or 4. Proficiency bonus of 4. So in this case, our stone cunning is 4 times a long rest, because that's tied to our proficiency bonus. That means our saving throw and athletics are here. Our dexterity is going to be here. And we're going to get that full +2 for medium armor as well. Constitution is going to be -1, but as a dwarf, we get 1 hit point per level. So kind of cancels out compared to like a human. So yeah, we're a dwarf. We have human hit points. Well, you know, what can you do? But sometimes you just have that nagging cough that that happens. +7, +7. +7, +7, +7. And then we're going to have +2s down the board, except in persuasion, which is a nice healthy +6, and we need that for how we're going to operate in this world. All right, so as we're attacking, quarterstaff is strength-based. So this, I'll just put strength. That's going to be at a +5. Sickle does have the finesse property, unless I'm not remembering it correctly. So that one could actually be a +6 if this is off of Dex. And we'll make that note here because you could choose. Damage, I'm not worried about it. You bonk people or don't. You can look that up in the inventory. The damage output of a quarterstaff has nothing to do with the personality of our character. The notes, that's stuff for weapon mastery, which I don't think we get weapon mastery as a druid unless we take it as a feat, but we also don't take feats. We took ability score improvements. So I'm not even worried about that. We just bonk people. Size, we are medium. Speed in this edition is 30 feet. Initiative is a dex check, so that's +2. Passive perception is 10+, so that's a 13. I'm also a fan of passive insight and passive investigation. All right, hit points. This is how we calculate hit points. You get your full hit die, in this case 8, at first level. Then, for our remaining 11 levels of our 12, we get half +1. Now, your table might do it differently. You might roll it every level, or maybe your DM says you need to take the maximum every level because I'm going to kick your all's asses every single session. But on average, we're using standard array. We're going half +1. Then we get bonus hit points equal to our level times our constitution modifier. And then we get bonus hit points, being a dwarf, we get 1 per level. So 12 times -1 is going to cancel out the 12 of the dwarf. So we're going to get rid of this math here. That leaves us with 55 + 8. So we have 63. We have 63 hit points. $12d8 is our max hit dice. No death saving throws to worry about. Modifier is a +3. Spellcasting DC is 8. Starts at 8. Plus proficiency, which is 4, so that's 12. Plus our ability, so we have 15. And our spell attack modifier is a +7. And then we can modify this. Appearance, I don't know. How do we want to appear? That's fine. We're lawful evil. We can speak druidic, and I believe characters, all characters just get 2 languages, common and 1 other, if I'm remembering correctly. Passives, alignment, personality. At least 3 languages. Common +2. You roll or choose from the standard language table. So we do have Druidic as a special. We have Common, and then we have 2 others. Hey, Genly, good to see you. Blue Joy. Blue Joy, roll 2d12, I guess, to randomly get 2 other. We could pick based on what we've done. Like, I don't know. Does he talk a lot of Elvish? Maybe, maybe not. Or, you know, would he know Sylvan? Or Undercommon? Or Primordial? Maybe, but I don't know. Let's stick with the regular languages for right now. Lands on a 1 and a 12. So I guess we know Sign Language and Orcish. All right. I remember when the number was based off of your intelligence modifier. Oh, back in the early days of 3rd edition. Now everyone gets 3 or more languages. Oh, that was something that we didn't end up rolling. That we didn't end up rolling. And I was going to show this to you as well, Plant. So as we go through in the 2014, you see that a lot is left open for us to interpret based on some charts and other things. One of the last things that we have here is the age category. Hey, good morning to you, Tony. That could be Blue Joy. That could go into it. If instead of a formal sign language, it could be sort of a trail, like a trail language. It's something that I don't know. I think that rangers, it would almost be like a thieves' cant, but it would be for rangers. Would be trail signs, things about putting like notches in branches or chipping off some bark to leave a message for other people passing through. So I think something like that instead of a sign language. We could take one step away from that and go for something more along those lines. Because look, it's a ribbon on rangers, and rangers should have a way to communicate with each other. Not only do they read, there's deer hair on the bark, so a deer was here. Yes, but deer hair is never 5 feet up on a tree. A normie passing by will just go, maybe it was a tall bear that rubbed on the tree. I think rangers should have some sort of like trail signs, some sort of trail talk, and that could be comprised of like bird whistles, of trail markings about where to leave a mark on a tree, like danger ahead or fresh water this direction. Something along those lines. I think it makes sense. That could fit in the Druidic. That's true, Blue Joy. But maybe Ranger isn't so much spoken like Druidic could be. It could be incorporated in there. You know, there's languages like Italian certainly has a physical component to it. But yeah, like, however we want to bring it up. I remember when every point of intelligence counted towards bonus proficiencies, but that was an optional rule, says Delport. And also, hello, Delport. So plants, I would like you to type exclamation point 1D100, as we did not determine the age of this character. Now, based on the lifespans presented in the 2014, if we wanted something more specific, but the this version of 2024 has, in its streamlining, really just sort of throws out a ish and go from there. So in that spirit of whatever, let's just go for an age category. Yeah, we can keep it ambiguous, but just go ahead and type exclamation point 1D100. Stops on an 8. Ah, so we have a young adult. We have someone who probably thinks that he is... just because he can turn into a bee and he has knees, that we have this anime protagonist probably has Superman syndrome, that I can do anything, I am boastful, I am, but might look sickly for his age. So I guess this is appearance. We are a young adult. Because look, in anime, as soon as you hit like 25 to 30, you are decrepit, you have white hair, you usually have a long, full beard. So very clearly, our selfish dwarf is an anime protagonist. We have an anime protagonist. When I found out how old Sir Auron was canonically, I'm gonna murder someone. Yeah, because you look at him and you're like, oh yeah, this guy, like, he's definitely mature. He's got to be in his mid-40s, maybe in his 50s, with how he carries himself and, you know, his very stoic outlook. And then you learn that he's seen some things in his life, apparently. Going on that journey really takes it out of you. Maybe our dwarf doesn't necessarily know they have abilities. Maybe it's like in Harry Potter, where prospective wizards accidentally do incredible things. That could have been the origin story. In fact, we made a joke about it because we knew from the background, as we did the background first, we knew that this character was going to be an artisan, and in particular, we randomly rolled a proficiency with potter's tools. And then we found out we had a druid, and so we very much have a Harry Potter, double backed up by the fact that we have a dwarf. And so his beard is magnificent, in or out of animal form. Yeah. Well, so plants around these here parts, because I don't like agonizing over making a story or making a character. We have an expression that goes as follows. Some channels have OWOs. OWO. Some channels have OOWOs. This channel actually does have an OOWO. The DRUID has an OOWO face. Though primarily, and what all of you have, are iwis. EWE stands for It Writes Itself. The methodology that I like teaching and encouraging you all to use is to let the story write itself. Stop agonizing over it. Stop letting your creative process get all seized up just because you are caught on a detail. Let the story write itself. Let the characters flourish and prosper and just happen. See? So there we go. Independent third-party verification from Plants and Leather Pants. This was meant to be. You never heard of us before. You stumbled into us randomly one evening, and thank you for that. Thank you for giving me a chance. And we find consistency after all these years of teaching. Delport says, so this character is still a young adult, but they're level 12, so they've been going through some stuff. What did they go through that left them with that trauma? Experience. Yeah, what would have this person, have this maybe selfish or pessimistic mood? The alignment that was rolled was lawful evil. We have a selfish person who puts himself before others, doesn't necessarily need to kick puppies and burn down orphanages with the evil part, but for sure values himself first, and yet still acts with some code, authority, sense of honor, either self-imposed or imposed by his artisan guild or his dwarven fellows or something else. There's still a guiding rail somewhere, or a guiding star or whatever. It could just be the druids that took him in because maybe he was raised by animals. Like he warged early, and so he actually was an animal for a while. Druids found him, sort of coaxed him back into human form, but still has that survival of the fittest, because lawful evil and survival of the fittest work really well. There is a natural order, and you are looking out for yourself by ensuring that you are strong, your belly is full, and that your lineage will live on and you will not die early. That is a pretty hard survival of the fittest. At least, over time consistently. Random things happen. You could be the strongest member of your tribe, and you're hit by lightning and you're done. And nothing, unless it's some like Darwin Award where unga bunga, me find metal, and you raise it up for everyone during a lightning storm, and there you go. So things like that happen, and that is a chaotic burst. But generally, that would be a lawful evil mentality, is survival of the fittest. Though maybe in this case, he's manifesting it through economics, through participating in the creation of items, and that is the structure. He's building, and he's putting himself first. That's an interesting character. Yeah, and I agree. I don't like building optimal characters. I don't like cookie cutter characters. I don't like characters that are just a cut and dry. They should have flaws. They should have these interesting, compelling quirks to them. Did he lose party members, dear friends on a mission for high ideals, and now he's adverse to forming close bonds? Yeah, he could have started out as, oh boy, the road to adventure. I'm 10 and I'm going on my Pokemon adventure. And then by the time you get to the, by the time you get to the Elite Four, and you've finally seen the seedy underbelly of like Pokemon trafficking, like puppy mill Pokemon breeders and all this other stuff, by the time you get to the Elite Four, you've seen a couple things, and maybe you finally, you finally say, you know what? That nurse keeps saying, I'm happy to see you again. Why are you happy to see me again when I'm bringing in severely damaged animals and you're always looking forward to it? What's going on here? Yep. Gisp, I'm sorry if my mic is cutting out. Maybe I'm speaking too loudly and the mic, maybe the mic has a limiter on it. But I'll tell you what, it's a quarter after midnight. Let me get up and stretch, and I'll see where we go from here. Give me just a couple minutes to freshen up, and we'll move forward. Okay, everyone? Hold on tight. I'll be right back.